Hey, welcome to Fitz on Flix. I'm Fitz. This is my friend Murph.
Hey, Fitz.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. I'm going camping this weekend.
Oh, that's a poor decision. Hey, this week you must have forgotten the movie we just saw. You don't want to go in the woods.
I remembered it.
Ooh, that. Okay. Hey, so we saw a movie this week called The Last House on the Left. It's a remake of the 1972 classic Last House on the Left. Murph, did you enjoy the movie? Tell the people what it's about. Should I?
Do you want to tell them?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so you got a family. They got a little house in the woods. It's the last house on the left, even though it's the only house in the woods.
Yeah.
For 6 miles, and they could have just called it,
The House in the Woods?
The House in the Woods. That would have been a better title. If you say the last house on the left, people would probably think there's a house past their house and they would never get there. But that's another whole story. To me, okay, this movie, you got a family, they're in the woods. It's a mother, father, and her daughter. And their daughter. And the daughter decides she wants to go into town, see a friend of hers. So she takes the vehicle, goes into town. Parents stay home to have dinner. While the girl's in town, her and her friend, they meet this guy. They want to get some weed off him. They go to a hotel where he's staying. Everything's going good. They're getting high. They're having a good time until his family comes home. His dad, his uncle, and some crazy girl. And turns out these people, they're not just crazy, they're evil, they're sadistic, they're terrible, and they start basically torturing and doing things to these girls. They take them captive while driving through the woods. Mm-hmm. An accident occurs. The people blame the 2 girls for it, and they decide we're going to start cutting them up and we're going to start raping them. And they do just awful, terrible, blood-curdling things to these girls. And the story takes a twist when, after they're said and done doing what they're doing to these girls, this band of outlaws, they have to go to a house. They need a place to stay for the night because their vehicle is no longer roadworthy. No. And what happens? What house do they go to? The last house on the left, the only house in the woods, which is owned by the parents. The parents are there, and violence and craziness begin to ensue when the parents start to realize what's going on here. Murph, what did you think of this movie?
I enjoyed this movie. Not to say that I enjoy violence against women or rape. Right. I don't. But that being said, it's kind of a story about the parents. They find out eventually that their daughter has been tortured, and what are they going to do? Normal parents, doctor, school teacher. When you're in that position, what are you capable of doing to these people that did this to your daughter? And I liked what happened in turn. Right.
There's there was a conversation years ago had about the movie Clockwork Orange. A lot of people say the movie's just too violent, it's too terrible, and I've always said, no. The thing is, it has to be that violent and that sadistic to make the rest of the movie make any sense. You have to see how violent this guy is in A Clockwork Orange to make what happens to him later in the movie make any sense. That's the same thing in this movie. You have to have it has to be as violent and as awful, and in this movie, as seemingly real as it is in this movie, watching what happens to these girls. That leads you up to the end. So when these bad guys, when they perhaps start getting their own, they start getting theirs, I mean, it's a payoff like no other. You are so happy to watch these people get theirs. That's why I think the movie works. I agree. This is not an enjoyable movie. You're not going to go and you're not going to be like, this is a tough movie to watch. Yeah. I don't think it's as tough as the original. The original, in my mind, it was a little bit grittier. It was a little bit more, almost too real. That being said, this is, though, I mean, there are some scenes in this movie where you just, your stomach actually does some move. You're like, oh. It's a tough movie, but very well done. The director, what's his name there? Dennis Lidios?
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary. I don't think Dennis Leary did this. I think it was another guy named Dennis. Dennis Leary he makes movies about fire. TV shows.
Yeah. You know what? Can I mention something about the guy who plays Krug is Garrett Delahunt. He's just an evil-looking bastard to begin with, and then put him in this role. Yeah, he was in Deadwood. He's on the Sarah Connor Chronicles. The Terminator one. He plays a robot. Yeah. And he's just evil, and I thought he was brilliant in this movie. He was making you hate him so much. I hope it was a stretch for him. I hope he's not really like this in real life. It would suck to be his neighbor.
I would not invite him to any parties. if he was really like that. But I'll tell you, man, yeah, he's wonderful in this movie. You know who's really good? I mean, you got Tony Goldwyn in this movie playing the dad from Ghost.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, I've hated him since Ghost because why would you do that to Patrick Swayze?
No,
That's so what a jerk. But he makes up for it in this movie when you watch how much he loves his daughter and what he's willing to do when he finds out something's happened to his daughter. So now I'm back on the Tony Goldwyn bandwagon. I want to, send him letters and say, hey, you're awesome, Tony.
I sent him an email yesterday.
Oh, I can't wait for his response.
Me too.
But he was great. And I'll tell you, what's the kid? His name's Spencer Treat Clark. He plays the youngest son of the band of outlaws. This kid, the whole movie I'm looking going, why do I know this kid? He was the young boy in Gladiator, the kid that wanted to be like Russell Crowe.
Yes.
And he's great in this movie. He
was
great.
really good.
Everybody in the performances were all great. They all did what they were supposed to do. I thought the movie accomplished what it tried to accomplish, and it is. It's asking that question: how far are parents willing to go when their kid is messed with? And it's not pretty, it's not nice, but it's interesting. I enjoyed the movie, or like I say, I appreciated the movie, I should say.
Yep.
I think a lot of you will too. Is it for everybody? Well,
no.
You kind of got to see it and make that decision for yourself. But I go see the movie. I'm saying. Go see this movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say go see it if you're not faint of heart. And also if you're a fan of the McGriddles, the McDonald's commercials, you get to see the girl from the commercial, her titties. You get to see them. It's pretty hot.
That's true.
I've often wanted to see them.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got your wish. Also, before we go, the best, not to give anything away, but the best microwave as a weapon scene since Gremlins. That has to be brought up. So, Last House on the Left. I say see it, Murph. It's been a pleasure as always.
Mine.
Oh, I'm sure sure it has. Listen, all of you, check us out on fitsonflix.com, and we will talk to you soon. And have a great week and be good. Bye bye.